Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ngozi Talk Show, where our coaches can help you get more from your life and create concrete steps to help you get there. My name is Nomsa Clara Mnube. I'm the founder of Hope Spring Eternal Introduction Agency and the founder of Ngozi Talk Show. So I have three experts with me today. I'm going to let our experts introduce themselves. Also, they can lay out their professional credentials, expertise. Over to you, Dr. Bigot. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you, Namsa. Thank you. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whichever time that you are at. I'm in Los Angeles, so right now it is early in the morning. Um, and I am Burjit Tan, and thank you. It is such an honor and a pleasure to be with you today. And my passion is to help you transform any undesirable conditions that you have into a wonderful triumphant results that you love. And I do that through my speaking as a speaker, as a coach, as well as through as writing as an author of the book Seeking Peace, the proven five fingers method to thrive through change effortlessly.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bigot. Over to you, Mohammed. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. Thank you, Nusa. Thank you everyone for joining here. My name is Mohammed Kair. I'm a life and mindset coach and also a public speaker. I launched one podcast last year by the name of I Am Robust Podcast, which is all about self-improvement episode. Maybe something that is surprising sometimes can be shocking for some people. I am still studying. I just graduated last week as a civil engineer. So people sometimes get confused that civil engineer, coach, or host of podcast. So that's mainly what I do.
Great.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. Over to you, Bobby. Please introduce yourself to our audience.
All right. Thank you, Nomsa. Hello, everyone. Good day to you all. My name is Bobby Joe Mackoltz, and I am a mindset success coach. And what does that really mean and how different from life coaches, right? That nothing on the outside in your life changes until you change what's going on in your mind and the inside. So if you want to see different results, you need to change the way you think. I like to think of it that we have upgrades in our house, our cars, and our phones.
She frozen.
Mhm.
I think you
Now,
got frozen, Bobby.
Okay.
Yeah, we had the last word, our phones. Was it phones?
All right. Can you hear me now?
Okay.
yeah.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, where did I leave off? It's quite stormy here today, this morning, so it could be that. So my apologies. I'm Bobby Joe Mackoltz, and I'm just a mindset success coach. I help people get the results that they'd like to get in their life by changing their mindset.
Thank you so much, Bobby. Thank you so much. So our topic today is how to build self-image. So, Bobby, I'm gonna come to you. What is self-image? Someone who is watching will be like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Self-image. It's the root of all of it. How do we see ourselves? So I'd like to start with a quote from Bill Groves, and it goes like this. If I want to be free, I've got to be me, not the me you think I should be, not the me I think my wife thinks I should be, not the me I think my kids think I should be. If I want to be free, I've got to be me. So I better know who me is. Because we portray this self image to people by our peers and our environment that we think we have to be or pretend to be a certain way or act a certain way, but we hold ourselves back. And there's little tools that we'll go through in this next hour, I'm sure by the others also, of self-image, how you can build up that self-image, because that's your confidence in who you are. but it all starts at the ground level of really knowing who you are. A big word that I use in my coaching is a paradigm. This is your belief, your behavior, your habits. You don't even know how you're operating. So sometimes there can be a cultural paradigm. Sometimes people, like there's fourth and fifth levels of generations of welfare over and over because it's a cultural paradigm. I grew up in a really wealthy area in my life called Cape Cod here in the United States, and everyone grew up wealthy. And I thought, oh, the wealth builds on wealth, you know, but it's not. It's that they didn't have this paradigm. That's how they saw themselves, their self-image. They saw themselves as they grew up, and so that's what they attracted into their life. So how do you really see yourself when you look in the mirror? Do you see that person that you really are, your true perfection that God has made us to be? Or are you holding yourself back with the insecurities? So I'll pass it on to the others now, but we have to know that ground level. So if you're taking notes, really write that. Who is it that you are? When you look in the mirror, what is it you see?
Thank you so much, Bobby. That's really, really powerful. What do I see when I look at myself in the mirror? That's really, really powerful. I hope it's, you know, when you ask yourself questions, it makes you go deep and it makes you get uncomfortable as well. So thank you so much, Bobby. Over to you, Dr. Biget.
So what is self-image? So for me, and I am borrowing it from the dictionary today, self-image is the idea that somebody has the idea that somebody has in their mind and in their heart on their own abilities, appearance, and personalities, and it can be something that quite resistant to change. So it's something that somebody a belief that you have about your own ability, about your own image, and it is usually something that you inherited, believe it or not. Even though it's about you, you inherited it from, many times it's your parents as you grow up, or whomever that brought you up, and the society, and so on and so forth, the magazines and the TV that you were exposed to. And it can be quite resistant to change, and at the same time it's about your ability. So it's very important actually, because if whatever you believe, if you think you can or you think you can, then you're right.
Thank you so much, Dr. Biget. Whatever I believe that I am, I'm going to become that, even the words that I speak about myself. So I'm going to hold on to your talk, Dr. Biget and Bobby Joe. I'm going to hold on to your talk as well, please. I need to know who I am. I need to ask myself every time I look at in the mirror, who is Nomsa? Over to you, Mohammed, please.
I will add my voice to Bobby and Dr. Biget as well. Sometimes people, when they hear the term self-image, directly they relate that to what they say or when they look in the mirror. But it's much deeper than that. I believe it's much deeper than that. That is something on the externally, it's something external. But when we go internally, let's say self-image maybe is the ideas you have or conceptions or mental image you have on your own, or you have it about yourself. So this is what mainly is the self-image. It can be positive, it can be negative. When it's positive, it can empower you, it can push you and give you more confidence. When it's negative, it can be destructive. And when it's negative, it can sometimes hold you back. So always remember, if you have negative self-image, it's not who you are that holds you back, but it's usually who you think you are. So it can be positive and negative. Which we want to focus on today is how can we develop a positive one or positive self.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. It is very, very important to actually be aware of our thoughts and be aware of who we are as a person. Otherwise, we end up becoming something else that we shouldn't. And our thoughts, basically, they become us. So how do you work on your self-image, Bobby? Now that I know what self-image is, so how do I begin to work on?
Okay, well, this could be a lengthy one, but our brains, our minds are like computers. So there's a thing called a cybernetic. It's in computers, and it's the same way that our brains operate. So you first have to know that when a plane, if I was going to go fly to London or France or anywhere, come see you maybe, that the plane is going to be off course about 90% of the time. And there's this cybernetic in it that makes it come back to course. So it goes off course and it comes on course. We have the same success mechanism in our brains that we want something to focus on. And when we're off course, it's going to come back to that. So this is why sometimes people who are overweight, they might lose weight, but they'll come back to that main weight and never be able to really lose the weight because there's a mechanism in their mind about how they see themselves, what they believe in their heart, like the doctor said. You had said there earlier about it's not who we think we are that holds us back, it's who we're not. And am I frozen? Did I freeze again?
Yes, you did.
For me, it was perfect.
Where did I freeze at? I froze again.
For me, Nomsa is frozen.
Eh?
But for me, Nomsa is frozen. Bobby is okay. I'm not sure what is wrong.
Oh, I think she was frozen. I couldn't hear what she was saying.
Okay, am I back now?
Yes, you are back now.
What did you hear last? I'm sorry for all the viewers that are watching if this is a little disturbing today. What is it that I left off at?
Last one, for me, if someone wants to lose weight, but they lose it.
Yeah, lose weight.
So when you lose weight, why you don't lose weight is that you lose it, but it comes back because there's a belief, there's a mechanism in our brains that's cybernetics that brings us right back to what we believe we should be. So it's that belief, like the doctor said. And then Mohammed, I love what you said, is that it's not who we think we are that holds us back. It's who we think we're not. Because we look at others and go, oh, I couldn't do what they want to do. That's because of this belief deep in our heart. And how do you change that? By changing it yourself, by repetition. That's the only way. What are you thinking about every day? What are you writing about? So that's what I coach my clients to do, is that they write out their self-image in the present tense. How is it you want to be? Because your same results, you have the same thinking from yesterday that brings you to today. So there's never going to be any change in results. You only made 30,000, maybe 100,000 a year, because that's what you believe you should worth. And it's so funny that if you go over or come back year after year, you'll always come back to that middle ground of where you feel your value is at. So, sorry, my monitor, can you hear me okay? Okay, great. So it's always going to come back to that. So what I have people do is write out that self-image. How is it you are? How do you treat your family? How do you treat your kids? How do you show up? Who is that person? How is your identity? And when you start to write this and be this over and over, that's when you start to rewire your brain, because they are like computers, just like phones. We have to upgrade them. So that's what I have people do, is that really think about who it is that you want to be. Where is it that where are you right now? And where is it that you want to be? And then write that from the person as if you already are that person, because the subconscious mind doesn't know reality from unreality. It doesn't know if you're making that 100,000 or that $1 million. All it knows is that what you think and believe, and that subconscious mind is working when we're sleeping. So that's another great way, is to record yourself script, right? And that way, when you're going to bed at night, you have those fadeaways when you're falling asleep and you're impressing into that subconscious mind what it is, and it doesn't know the truth from reality. So you can hear your voice saying, I make this, as it in that present tense.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bobby. I think it is very, very important to understand how we think. And like what you're saying is basically, when you talk about knowing who you are, and record your voice as well and listen to it when you go to sleep, because sometimes you might be shocked, like, am I actually listening to myself? So it is very, very important. Thank you so much. I need to do that. Actually, I did do that, and then I got fed up of listening to myself. So I need to start doing that. Dr. Bigot, over to you, please.
Thank you, Numsa. So how do we upgrade, so to say, our self-image?
Work on your self-image, yes, please.
Yes. So there are a few things, and actually there is a really good book. It's older. It's been published quite a few decades by now, but it is still a very good, powerful book. It's not my book. It's probably as old as I am, but it is by Maxwell Maltz. He's a doctor actually, and this is the book here, The Power of Self-Image Psychology, the magic power of self-image psychology. And this is a really, really good book that described in there. And then he has even the 12 steps on how to change your self-image to what it is that you would love. And so and I'm going just to share an excerpt of that, as well as to add on from the more current research about self-image. And so it's basically what we want to do to change our self-image or have a better one is to first start with your imagination. What is it that you would love that you are not now? Because without that, you will just believe what you are. So why do you even want to change? What is your motivations to change? And now that you know your motivations, let's say you would love to earn a whole lot more money, or to be a slim and svelte and trim person effortlessly, or I have one client who is a very successful lady in her business, and in her self-image, that she sees herself as a successful woman. She never sees herself as a wife. Even though deep in her heart, she would love to be able to be in a beautiful, loving, joyful marriage. And so we work on her self-image without such that she's a wonderful, successful wife, and yes, and also businesswoman, not sacrificing her business. So have an imagination, see if everything is possible. And we know that if you believe in yourself, anything is possible, like the sayings behind me here say. So if everything is possible, what is it that you would really, really love? Not just what you think you want. What is it what you really, really love? Why? Because the feeling is important. Now that you know what is it that you really, really love, so that's where you go with your imaginations. How does it look like if you are this successful wife and businesswoman? What would you be saying? How would you be speaking? What would you wear? What would you wear at night when you are with your husband? And so on and so forth. So feel it in your heart, and actually act it. And as Dr. Joe Dispenza, who is the expert of combining the mental science into the physical science as well as into our physical body, says, and then you start doing it. You're doing it as much as you possibly can. You walk walk and sit and eat and stand and lie down as the persons you see that you would love to become. And when you are doing that, the other thing is you also want to feel it. Why? Because our heart, the study has shown that our heart's the most powerful organ in our body, and the heart actually sends a lot more signal to the brain, believe it or not, than the brain to the rest of the body. So we want to feel it in our heart. The best and easiest way to change anything is from your heart, because your heart is the most powerful one. So feel it. Not only you just eating or walking or speaking as the image you would love, but you actually feel it. How would you feel? How would you feel if you are now the very successful, very happily married woman who is even more successful in your business? If this is, I'm using the example of my client, and so how would you feel if your body is slim and trim and svelte and strong, and act that way? And also one thing that I find very helpful is to add on music. To add on music into your being, your new self. And that's because music actually changed your vibration. I learned it from Dr. Joe Dispenza as well. Music changed the vibration in yourself. It get into your heart even more. Why do you think that when you hear when you watch movies, say it's a heroic movie, they have this music. They always have certain music with certain tone, right? It's not like they have a heroic moment and then the music going, nah, you know, it doesn't go like that. So it incorporate music into that if you can, and then it will allow you to really every time you hear that music, you could be walking down the street going to the store or something, to your car, and you hear the music, even if it is in your mind, then you can put yourself immediately into that self-image and do that many times a day.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Bigot. I like it when you say basically you have to use your imagination and ask yourself, what would you like to change? And the part of the music as well. Shana spoke about it yesterday as well. She said she had her moment where she had to stop and say about God, saying God is my creator. I love God because basically God can never let her down. Whenever she needs God is always there. She knows she can just ask. So she said, I just went and screamed, and I was like, looking will be like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if someone would just watch me going crazy? So thank you so much, Dr. Bigot. I think sometimes it's nice to use your imagination and just get yourself into that zone where they'll call you crazy if you know that you're not crazy. Thank you so much, Mohammed. I love to hear how you're gonna top up these girls.
Okay, first we need to recognize something, that self-image is something subconscious. So let's say it's a subconscious framework of how you see yourself. So once we realize it's subconscious, as Bobby said, you need to work on playing or manipulating your subconscious mind, because the subconscious doesn't know is it real or no. That's where we have to start. But I think the number one thing, if you want to work on your self-image, is to be open-minded. Because in order to ask the questions, what do I want to be, why I want this thing or that one, I need to be open-minded. Because without being open-minded, you will never ask any question. You will think, this is me, this is who I am, I'm not going to change. Then your self-image will hold you back. But once you become open-minded, you will be open and welcoming any questions that come to your mind that you can read, any exercises that you can do. So I believe the first step is to be open-minded. Because with all the questions, with all the techniques, the strategies, if you are not open-minded, you will just build a wall and you are not going to do anything. So I think step number one is to be open-minded and to dig deeper and deeper. Ask yourself simple questions, but powerful questions, because as coaches also, we know that one powerful question can change everything. So I think it's always ask, what do I want to be? What makes me fulfilled? What excites me? What I don't want to regret on my deathbed? This is one of the questions usually scares people. When I am on my deathbed, what are the things that I don't want to regret? Sometimes some of these things actually are, let's say, ingrained in your self-image, and you are not doing them because you feel, oh, I'm not healthy, I am fat, or I can't do this or that. So it's also part of believing, because as Joel Osteen says, what you receive is directly connected to what you believe. And sometimes they say you receive what you believe. Same thing Bobby said, why am I not making 40,000 or something? But I believe I can't make that amount of money. So now it's all also in the self-image. And I believe, as Dr. Bigot said, visualization is something important. You need to visualize. You need to feel everything. For example, if I want to lose 20 pounds, for example, I need to visualize, how am I going to look like? How am I going to feel? Where am I going to be? How am I going to spend my time? So it's all about visualization. And visualization can be done by many things. One of the most important things can be meditation. And there is one meditation, I'm not sure if you heard of it or no, it's called the 6-phase meditation by Vishen Lakhiani, which goes from gratitude to anything also. It has 6 phases. One of them is gratitude, but the other one is visualizing a goal, but thinking of the smells that you smell when you have the goal, the views that you have, the people you are surrounded with, which is around 25 minutes meditation, 24 minutes. But it's all about visualization, and it's usually helpful to break the negative self-image and, let's say, cultivate a much better one and a positive one also that can empower you.
So much, Mohammed. When we finish, just put the link for the meditation or the name for the meditation.
Right.
I think that would be lovely for our audience, for them to go through that meditation. So I know you guys have spoken about what is self-image and how can you actually live the way you want to be, and how do you actually focus on building your self-image instead of the haters focusing on the haters trying to stop you? If the haters want to stop you, because some people might come to you and say, I don't think it's you that you're, because people don't stay the same, we're changing all the time. So you may, like Mohammed and all of you spoke about asking yourself some questions. So what if you ask yourself a questions? Who is Noms? I go in front of the mirror and I ask myself a question, and then I find that what I find about myself is not what I should be. Then I want to make some changes. Then the haters come in and say, no, that's not you. So how do you actually focus on building your image?
All right. Can
Hey, Bobby.
Hello, everyone. So I want to back up the doctor on that. Yes, Psycho-Cybernetics by Dr. Maxwell Maltz. So yes, this is a great book, but it's one to just not read. It's a shelf help book, but unless you really get in there and study it. So how do you focus? You got to really want it. You got to be sick and tired of the old image. You got to get in the mirror and really look at yourself. I just ask everyone, have a pen. I'm taking notes too, but really listen to this today. Listen with 2 ears, that you have got to want this. You've got to decide. Remember one thing, that you are going to make a change. As the other coaches here today said too, that you have to have the belief in yourself. What I want to offer you though also is to get out of your head. That's so logical, and drop, as the doctor said, into your heart. You cannot go wrong when you come from your heart. This is where your soul is. So you could logically say, oh, I'm here, but that's again where the paradigm is. That's where your friends and everyone else is logically, or your culture. That's not acceptable. Well, do you know the Wright brothers who made the airplane? Their own father thought they were legally insane. They were just bicycle mechanics. And all of a sudden they're saying, we're going to make a plane and it's going to bird and it's going to go in the sky. Everyone thought they were insane. So you've got to know your own truth. And when you come from your heart, you can do no wrong. So you've got to want it. You've got to believe in yourself. That's why coaches are really good to have. They believe in you. They see something in you that you don't see. Don't talk to this about your friends, because if they don't support you, why would you ever? Find your friends that support you in what you're doing and what you know you want to do. What else did I think there? Yes, we keyed on it. We're all saying the same things here. Have the imagination like the Wright brothers did, or anyone else. And you got to visualize. You got to visualize it. You got to smell what that brand new car smells like. You got to feel it. You got to see the sunshine on you. Whatever it is, you got to bring in the elements of what you see, hear, smell, taste, and touch, so that you feel it's real, because the subconscious mind doesn't know it's not. So I had a thought there that you got to think it, you got to feel it, you got to see it. Got to give gratitude, right? Because when you're in gratitude, it brings up that vibration. I kind of lost my train of thought there. So these are the keys that you need to do to find that self-image, because you're on the right path if you're coming from your heart and authentic. And then the other thing is persistence. That's what I wanted to say, right? If you like Mr. Edison there, He made the incandescent light, but he failed 10,000 times. I think after 10, I'd be done. That's not for me. So that's the trick too. You got to be persistent with yourself, that you know that you want better, that you want tomorrow to be a different day, a better day, and live your authentic self. You've got to have this passion. And if you're not in harmony with yourself, then you're not doing it. I'm not going to be an electrician. I'm not a civil engineer, that's for sure. I was more the whitewater rafting guide. I'm the yoga teacher, the massage therapist, but you got to follow yourself. You can't be looking at mom and being like, maybe I got to be like that. You can't. You got to be strong enough and believe in yourself. So find a coach, get a good support system, and then don't tell anyone else, and have that persistence, because it's your dream. It's your self-image. You were born to do something else. But from 0 to 7 years old, everyone influenced you because you didn't have conscious was wide open, and everything everyone told you, you grew up believing, and it wasn't even really true in you. I feel this way. I didn't find myself till I was really 50. I am just now coming into my own and getting rid of all that old stuff. And it takes layers. It's simple, but it's not easy. But you got to be willing to do the work, and you can change.
So much. Thank you so much, Bobby. Know your own truth, Bobby says, and think it, feel it, walk it. So and believe it. You gotta believe it, she says.
I'm sorry.
Thank you so much. Dr. Biggett, over to you, please.
Thank you, Numsa. So yes, definitely. You can have all the self-image that you would love. And what about if there are naysayers? Because there are a lot of time, plenty of naysayers in our life, right? And people that says, no, that's not you, that's not you. Well, have you ever seen magnets? The magnets, or at least listen to the theory of magnets, where it's magnets usually positive and negative. And then when you put them together, they attract and they kind of stuck, right? Now, if you put if you are a positive, that you would love to be something more empowering. So you are a positive force, and you put another one that's positive, you're actually not going to get stuck into each other. And so the same thing, you can whatever it is out there, that somebody says to us, the naysayers that says, you're not this is not you. That's what one way to see them. One way to see them is that they are haters, that they just try to be in our way. But the other way to see them is through using what the Course in Miracle actually taught us. And the Course in Miracle is a book, but it's also on how to be able to connect with love, and how to have inner peace, and eventually to be even more successful and living a beautiful life. And the Course in Miracle says, and this is actually more recently being made well known by Mariam Williamson, that every action is either an expression of love or a call for love. Every action is either an expression of love or a call for love. So now that you see differently, you see that whomever that initially you might perceive as a haters or a naysayers is actually either expressing their love for you, because they perhaps don't have the image of being successful. Bobby mentioned earlier that many people, it's generations after generations for being welfare recipients. If their grandfather, let's just pretend this is your parents. So if your parents' grandparents, great grandparents are welfare recipients, excuse me, and their parents, your grandparents are welfare recipients, and now you're telling them, oh no, I'm going to be a doctor and I'm going to be super successful and so forth. They would want to protect you. They would want to protect you and say, honey, don't dream too big, because nobody has done that, and your heart going to be broken if that's what you're going to believe. And some people will actually express it that way, and even so, you might still be seen as a naysayer. And some people actually will feel, you know, like if you ever hear about the mother bear thing, the mother bear, if they feel that somebody might be harming their baby bear, they'll be like a mother bear. Oh my God, you know, don't do that. So some people actually will express it like that to you. Some people would say, oh honey, don't do that. Your heart might be broken. Some people say, oh no, 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 no. Well, who do you think you are? But it's an expression of love because of what they believe. Yes, that's very true, but it's an expression of love to you. And some people might also feel, let's say it's your significant other, like some of us discover ourselves later in life. Bobby just gave that example. And you know, if you were, let's say you got married when you were 25, and you're going all along and along, and you suddenly realize your realizations, and you say, oh my God, I can actually be this and this. The persons who has been with you might say, oh, what's gonna happen to us when you change? And so it might be a call for love. They might call for love in a way, no, you're not. That's not how you are. You are the 20-year, the person I've known for 20 years, but also it's an expression of love to protect you. And at the same time, it's a call for love. And now that you know that your naysayers, many of them, there are a few people, but those are exceptions. There are few exceptions, but in the majority of the time, whether it is your friend, whether it's your loved one or whomever, the naysayers that's close enough to you for you to even keep in to affect you, it's a form of either an expression of love or a call for love for you and from you. Now that you know that it's actually love, that it's not something that you should be upset about, that it's actually truly it's love, you can, every time you endeavor to step into your self-image, and their words come, and this word come, and their image of saying no come to you, you just say, thank you, thank you, thank you for trying to help me. Thank you for trying to protect me. Thank you for helping me understand what feeling you might, even though that's not what you put in words. And so thank you. And that's also actually, one of us mentions paradigm earlier, which is the belief that we have. Your own paradigm will do the same thing to you because your paradigm is here to protect you. Yourself, your old belief about yourself is here to protect you. It's almost like the little child in you trying to protect you. And so just know that it is a lot of time, even with your paradigm, your old belief, it's trying to protect you with love. And so you just say, okay, thank you. I noticed that. I noticed that. I appreciate that. But this is not who I am anymore now, that I am different. And you move on. And therefore, there is no more hook in you. There is no those attachment and you being kind of catch and stuck with that. You just release it. So that's one way you can do that.
So much. Thank you so much, Dr. Bickett. Every action is an action or a call for love. So thank you for that. I think the audience will hold on for that. And the expression as well. So thank you so much. Over to you, Mohammed, please.
This one could be long, but I will try to make it short. First, it starts with believing in yourself. And let's look at the background for Dr. Bridget. If you believe in yourself, anything is possible. It's right behind her. So let's take a look at that. Because anyone can say anything to you. Anyone can discourage you, can let you down. But you either can make that empower you or can destruct you. So if you believe in yourself, everything is possible. So no matter how good you are, or no matter how good you are, or how many things you achieve, someone is always going to be against you. Can be your family, can be your friends, sometimes your partner. We don't know who's it going to be, but someone sometimes will be against you. But what you can do and what you can control is you can never let them be the limit for your success. So that's the number thing. Whatever you do, no matter what you do, no matter how successful you are, people will be against you. But it's all in believing in yourself and in persisting, and you keep going. Let's take an example that lives with us these days, Elon Musk. I believe most of you and everyone knows Elon Musk. If you remember in 2008, 2009, the market crash, Tesla was about to file bankruptcy. But no one was betting on Tesla. Everyone said Tesla is going to fail. It's going to be demolished. The only one believed in himself is Elon Musk. So he took all of his net worth, he put it in Tesla. And look at Tesla now. It's one of the fastest growing companies in the world. And Elon Musk now is the second richest person in the world. So it's believing in yourself, believing in your skills, believing in your potential, and persisting and going no matter what happens to you. And it's in filtering the sounds that you listen to. Sometimes there are haters, but also haters can be good for you. Meaning, someone can tell me you are not good at speaking or you are not good at making sales or something. That could be true. And I can use that to my benefit, meaning now they are pointing my weakness. Sometimes haters, they point your weaknesses for you. So I can use that for my own benefit. They say, let me first, that's why you have to be open-minded. When they say something, you need to be open-minded and see if that's true. Actually, thank you, hater. You pointed something I can work on. So sometimes you can filter the voices that you listen to in order to make the best use of that. And I think we are always sometimes surrounded by negativity. If we watch news, if we go on social media, there is negativity everywhere, especially in the past year. So I think it's more about injecting positivity in your own mind, and especially to your subconscious mind by reading books, by listening to podcasts, attending talks, and having coaches around you, mentors, friends who can push you, who can hold you accountable. Because once someone holds you accountable, there is no way back also. So, and they always say you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. So if I am surrounding myself with mentors, with coaches, with inspiring people, for sure the outcome will be different. So sometimes the tribe you are hanging out around with, your family, sometimes can be toxic and negative. You need to change that. That's where it all starts. Being open-minded, filtering the voices you listen to, and injecting more positivity into your mind.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. For me, I took a note of believing in myself. If I believe in myself and know that everything is possible, and believing in my skills as well. So thank you so much for that. So I have to believe in my skills. I think I've had when I was approaching the speakers on Facebook, I was approaching the speakers and I was like, would you like to come and be part of Ngozi Talk Show? And someone replied and said, I don't think you want me to comment about your talk show because I don't think it is good enough for me. So I was like, oh, thank you very much. You can comment. Feel free to comment about the talk show. So like what you're saying now, you have to believe in the things that you do, because if you don't, someone will always have something to say about it. So you just have to keep going, because what you love, it might be somebody else, not someone else's cup of tea. So my next question is, I'm gonna come to you, Bobby. Is there any exercise or techniques to alter and change self-image that people can use, or anything that you have used that has worked for you?
All right. Well, thank you. I first want to say, Dr. Bridget, thank you so much for saying that your family is coming from a place of love. So I never, because of my own things, I never really thought of that, but you're right. They're just there to help you. So thank you for opening my eyes in that today, and that people really are there to help you and they're just trying to protect you. But like I said, out of that paradigm. And I want people to know, before I get to the question, is that we are all created equally. We all have the same infinite power. It's your perception of that. If you're looking at your neighbors or your cousin who, oh, she's much prettier, or she's this, or she's that, it's your own perceptions that's holding yourself back. Because when you see that perception, it's causing a feeling, and that feeling gives us this vibration. And this is what we know, is that everything in this world is at a certain frequency, a certain vibration. And this is the new physics, quantum physics, that are coming around. This is the hard science, like Doctor talked about, Dr. Joe Dispenza earlier. These are finding hard science. So it's our thoughts that create these feelings. So you really got to look at it, and then you got to know in your heart again that your cousin is no better than you. Your cousin is not smarter than you. Your cousin is operating with the tools that they have. You got to focus on you. What are your gifts? So you really got to clear that away and get rid of that perception and stop playing the victim and the poor me. Because my favorite quote out there from Ryan Blair is, if it is important, you will find a way. And if it is not, you will find an excuse. So what is really important to you? And I said this earlier, going back now to the question, that it's doing the actions. It's every day, taking 20 minutes and writing out your life script, because you've got to reprogram the brain. It doesn't work by just thinking, oh, I want to be a millionaire once. You got to be, feel, act, close your eyes, see what it's like to buy that car, brand new. What does it feel like to take that 5-star class, whatever, vacation? What does that feel like? So when you're writing it out every day, you're reprogramming your mind. Then it helps to look into the mirror and feel it. Get in there, look yourself right in the eyeball, right? And say things to you. Those affirmations help. And then, like I said, I gave you the creme of the creme. Write out your life script, your health, your wealth, your environment. Write it out. How often does the maid come? How often do you go to the spa and get a massage? Write things down to the detail, and then record it. And if you don't like your own voice, have your loved one do it. Have your daughter write out say your life script, and you say it in the present. And what I do is I record it on your phones. You can go to Voice Loop. It's 99 cents, and it's an app on your phone. That way you can record it for 5 minutes or 20 minutes, and it will constantly loop around and loop around and loop around. So that's one. Also on Voice Loop, then I hook up here to YouTube, and I record theta waves. So the theta waves are playing on my phone, and I walk out quietly and I let that play for a half an hour on my Voice Loop. So when I go to bed at night, I can press both those. I can hear the music, the theta waves putting me into sleep, opening my subconscious mind, and I can hear my recording of how I am all that. I am everything I want to be. I feel it. You can hear it in the voice, and you fall asleep, and your subconscious mind is being reprogrammed because it never sleeps. And then if you can do it in the morning, as you start to wake up, put those little earbuds back in and start programming the mind, because it goes through, the gamma, alpha, all the beta waves, it goes up. So listening, you're reprogramming the mind. These are the tricks. Please listen with 2 ears. We're giving you all of it, but it's the accountability of doing it every day. It's the accountability to make the decision to know that that's what you want. So that is what I have to offer, is that it's being, it's acting, and every great book, right? The Science of Getting Rich, all these wonderful books that I have around here. This was written by Wallace Wattles in 1903. He says it, you come from the place I already am. I am this person. I am it. I'm not dreaming it. I'm not thinking it. I'm not wishing it. I am. That's all I have for you beautiful people today.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bobby. You have to focus on you, reprogram your brain, being and act, live in it. So for me, what I do is, like he say, record it. What I do is, I think I'm gonna start to record it as well. What I do is I store it in my brain, like, when you're memorizing the lyrics. So I store everything in my brain. So I have to repeat it. And when I'm walking, I have to have a relationship with that. Whatever I desire, whatever I want, I write it every morning. And then when I'm walking, I start having a relationship with it. And then I smile. Sometimes I think people look at me and think I'm crazy, but I'm good. So I start having a relationship with that. It's like the talk show. I have an image that I want this talk show to go. So when I'm walking or when I'm praying, I have to see myself in that image, and I have to see it, and I have to see you guys in it, and just laugh. It's like I'm receiving it. I've got it. So thank you so much, Bobby. That is amazing. Thank you. Over to you, Dr. Birgit.
Thank you, Nomsa. So the practice, some of the practice that we can do to upgrade our self-image. I'm going to share what I learned from Bob Proctor and Dr. Jean Houston, as well as what assimilating all this and Joe Dispenza's work into all these different things. So what Bob Proctor taught, he taught us to actually look in the mirror and say an affirmations and feel it, but look in the mirror and say your affirmations first. And if you are able to do this 3 times a day, like at least, but at least do this every day, say first thing in the morning and first thing in the evening. Look in the mirror and first say your affirmations. So let's say with the client that I shared earlier, she was a successful businesswoman, but she also now really desire to be in a wonderful marriage. So she says, I am a wonderful, beautiful, inside and out wife and businesswoman. So look in the mirror and first say your affirmations after you write it down. So like Bobby says, write down in 1 or 2 sentences that's easy for you to remember and repeat throughout the day, and the essence of what it is that you would love. And then look in the mirror and look in the mirror with your left eyes and say that. And say it once with your left eyes, and then look in the mirror again, but this time with your right eye, and say your affirmations about your new self-image. And then the last thing is look in the mirror and say it with both eyes. So left eyes, right eyes, both eyes. I literally directly borrowed this from Bob Proctor. Now, Dr. Jean Houston, where does he come in? We mentioned that feelings, our heart is so much more powerful. And Dr. Houston's taught a very brief meditations. You can make it long, but you can actually do it in a matter of seconds. And what it is when you look in the mirror or imagine, let's say you want to receive a great news. You want to be working with somebody, and you want to see it in that you have been accepted to work with these wonderful organizations that you would really, really love. How would you feel? And what if you were to be touching, let's say you see the news, you receive the confirmation email on your phone. How does your phone feels on your hand? How do you feel? What could this victory moment smell like? And perhaps it could be like anything. It could be like anything. It could be typically when you read your phone is in your office and you have a particular candle with a particular scent. That would be what you're smelling. There's no right or wrong answer here, but what is it that you feel in your touch? What is it that you feel on physically? What is it that you hear? What is it that you see? You see this in your, imagine that you're seeing it on your phone here, and then you and then on how what would you hear? What would you hear yourself say in that moment? Perhaps you scream in elation, yes, or something. And so this is what Dr. Jean Houston teach. Uses the sixth sensory, and you can do this once you see this clearly, how you would feel in your feeling, in your touch, in your hearing, in what you're seeing and what you're smelling. You combine them all together because it's just a moment of life. It's just one snapshot of picture. If you ever see a movie, it's just a snapshot. And you can actually combine this together. You can actually combine this together as you're saying your affirmations, the way Bob Proctor taught you. You can actually not just saying it, but get yourself into that feeling first, into the feeling of, oh my God, this is so awesome. And I am the woman who is, or I am the man who is, and do that. And actually combining this, the technology, combining these recommendations from these two very wise teacher, I actually put it together knowing that with Dr. Just Dispenza teaching that in addition to feeling music and actually seeing image can help, I put them together that you can use nowadays that something like Zoom are readily available. You can even use this where you record yourself in Zoom. Zoom is free, if available for free for most people if you only use it for a short time. So you can even turn on Zoom and put on recording, and then you can record yourself doing this. You can even put like the Zoom allow us to have virtual background, so you can actually find, let's say you want to see yourself on a yacht. Now that you're super successful, you're on a yacht, get an image of a yacht where you're sitting on a yacht with the background. Make a movie of yourself, a clip 3-second movie of yourself doing that, drinking your favorite drink on your yacht, feeling the sun, and record it in Zoom. And you can watch it over and over and over again every day, multiple times a day, and then see yourself living that life. And if you want to, I actually have a whole lesson on this that I can share the link for. But that's something that you can incorporate. And because Zooms record music, you can incorporate music into that. So you're hearing the music, you're hearing the wind, and you're drinking your favorite drink, sitting on your brand new yacht. How does that feel? So.
Biget, thank you, Dr. Biget. You made me laugh. I was enjoying the moment, then you stopped. I was getting excited. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think it is very, very important to actually know who you are, know what you want. Sometimes we like comparing our lives with other people, but we don't know that everyone has their own destiny. And if you understand that you have your own book of life, you just follow that, whatever mistakes that you make, and not blame yourself, and just keep going. So thank you so much. So we are running out of time. It's 2:00. So I'm gonna have to cut you guys off. We're gonna have part 2. Do you guys fancy to have part 2 of this?
Sure.
Yeah, we can have part 2. You can tell me when you're both free. We can have the self-image part 2 so you guys can go deep. Because I know I need to get Bobby's book as well, so I can ask you guys, so we can all go deep with everything.
Perfect.
Is there anything right now, Bobby, you would like to leave with our audience? If there is someone who is out there and they don't know where to begin, how to create their self-image, because there are some people, when they see people on Facebook, they're posting what
She froze.
people are doing. So what would you give?
Well, you're frozen. I'm not really sure, but come from your heart, right? We have a saying, because Bob Proctor is my personal mentor, that professionals create, amateurs compete. So you want to just be creating. You want to just love yourself, right? You're born once. That's all we know of this time we have right now, this present, and live it to your fullest. And just be kind to yourself. Don't beat yourself up anymore, because you are perfect the way you are. No one is any better than you are. And that is the truth. Love you, believe in you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Bobby. Dr. Biget, anything you love to leave with our audience, please?
Sure, Numsa, thank you. So the many of us has heard the story of the ugly duckling. The ugly duckling, where a duck was told he's the ugliest duck and the ugliest duck and the ugliest duck. Turned out that duck is actually a beautiful swan. So in all of us, there is a very beautiful swan. You are a beautiful swan. Every single one of us. We're all different, but there is a beautiful swan in all of us, including in you. And just like with the story of the ugly duckling, many people cannot see that you are a beautiful swan, but you are. So know that you are a beautiful swan, know that you are fabulous, and discover your even more and more and more beautiful, fabulous swan self.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Bigot. Over to you, Mohammed, please.
I think two things. Number one, always remember that you are born original. You don't need to die a copy, meaning no need to copy your cousin or your friends or the things your family is doing. Just be you. Be who you are. Be true to yourself. You don't need to die a copy. Be original. This is number one. You are unique. You have everything. Number two is I want to say, remember that whatever you want to create, whatever you want to do, that everything starts in imagination. This phone was someday imagined, wasn't true. Someone imagined this one and made it true. So whatever you want to create, whatever you want to do, once you can imagine it and you put in the work, hopefully you can do it. So if you have the power to imagine, you have the power to make things come true.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mohammed and Bobby and Dr. Bigot. And for me, I would say do things that you enjoy, because whatever your friends, like Mohammed said, or your family, they enjoy, it doesn't mean that it is you. So start by making a list of things you like to do, like Bobby mentioned before, and try to do something from that list every day. She said you can record yourself and just spend time with people who make you happy and people who want to see you becoming the person you want to be. And don't waste time on people who don't treat you well or people who doesn't understand you, because whatever you do in life, it will attract people. They'll follow you. In the beginning, people might not agree with you, but later on, they'll follow you. So if you want to get in touch with these coaches, they're experts, they've been to where you are and they've worked on themselves, so you can get in touch with them through the email, or you can get in touch with them through Ngozi Talk Show page. So we love you guys and we appreciate you, and we'll see you tomorrow. And live with grace, everyone.